Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the historic Hawaii Theater. This is Headliners Hawaii.
I'm Dita, Holifield.
And I'm Romeo, Valentine. And today we have a very special guest. Give it up for Amy Hill.
Yay! So excited. Woo. So excited to have you here. You have been one of the people that we've been wanting to capture on Headliners Hawaii. Headliners Hawaii is really just an opportunity for us, Romeo and I, to share how very famous people got to where they were. And the people also have to have some heart for Hawaii on some level. So you tick off both of those boxes.
Yes.
She actually blacked out the whole box.
No. Yes, I'm very attached to this state.
Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter was in a hula halau. My daughter is going to be 25 soon. She went to UH.
Oh.
She was in a hula halau. This is when we still lived in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Well, she lives in Los Angeles again. But we were very connected to this place.
And then what is your path to Hawaii? Was it through your daughter?
No. It's weird. I was born in Deadwood, South Dakota.
What?
Yes. My dad is a Finn. And he came from a Finnish farming community in Deadwood. So he didn't even speak English until he was in school.
Do you speak Finnish?
I can count to 10. Yksi, kaksi, kolme, neljä, viisi, kuusi, seitsemän, kahdeksan, kymmenen.
Wow.
That sounded
Kiitos,
crazy.
that means thank you.
Aw.
And Finland is Suomi.
Wow.
I'm very connected to the Finns. But it's not that my mother is Japanese, a native Japanese, and my dad was in the occupation forces in Japan and met my mom and brought her back to Deadwood. And it wasn't a great fit. So he moved us all to Seattle, which is where I was raised. And there was a large Hawaiian population. And my mom actually made a lot of Hawaiian friends because you know what? There's a lot of racism out there, and Hawaiians were always very embracing of our family. We were not othered with them. So we already had some connection in that way, mostly chocolate-covered macadamia nuts. As a child, that was my... I was like, when it's Christmas, we're going to get chocolate-covered macadamia nuts. Anyway, and then, they'd be parsed out to us little by little. Anyway, and then when I graduated from high school, I started doing theater in high school, but I also performed on the back porch for the Italians across the street.
Oh, that's funny. And were you in private school or public school?
Oh, no, public school.
Yeah, let's go.
We were not, there was not. But I was in the good public school, the fancy one. It's interesting. It's like where you live. My brother went to the school that was peopled by kids from the projects. And for some reason, I went to the school where everybody lived on the other side of the hill next to the lake. And so they were all, I'm not sure which is better, but they were all kids that had money. They were white-collar workers. And my dad was a meat inspector for the Department of Agriculture.
Okay.
So he wasn't fancy at all.
Yeah.
But he was the, he did a lot of, he hunted deer and made sausage.
Wow, a man's man.
He was, gross. As a child,
He ate the meat
incredibly
raw.
disgusting. Yeah. So, he'd make blood sausage.
wow.
Ew. Exactly. And my mother was equally weird because she was Japanese. And so she was always making, raw fish. That's the thing. In the refrigerator, you'd find stuff and you weren't sure if it was bait or sashimi. It was all strange food. But my mother and father got along that way.
I love that. And so you're talking about your Finnish background. Do you speak Japanese as well?
Well, I did. After I graduated from high school, I wanted to get out of Seattle. So I got into a university in Tokyo and went to university there.
Wow.
I lived in Japan for 7 years. I speak fluent Japanese. I have no use for it.
I was going to say, I'm going to take you next time I go to Japan.
Well, I just got back from Japan.
Aw.
Yeah. And it's, I lived there for 7 years. And the reason I left was because it was so crowded. And
It's still very crowded.
it is.
It's so crowded. I went
So
in
I'm
New
there.
Year's.
Yeah.
It's crowded.
When I'm there for a week, I think, okay, time to go.
Yes.
Gotta get out of here.
I love it, but the food is so good. Oh,
Food is good. Food's good here, though, too.
it is.
Yeah.
So I'm not that, I feel like I can get great sushi and sashimi here, but some stuff I can't get.
Do you like spicy ahi as well?
Well, that's
Or you-
here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They didn't
Oh,
have
yeah,
I
yeah.
went to
No, they
Japan
don't
and I
have
was like,
spicy
"Where's
ahi
the
there.
spicy ahi?"
I gave my mother spicy ahi once, and she spit it out.
Oh, that
like
is
big
like, what is this?
Tom Hanks and the caviar. She literally was like, blah,
Oh,
blah,
that's
blah,
so
blah.
funny.
And I'm like, Mom.
Do you
that bad.
so you studied abroad. You have over 200 film and TV credits. Were
Yes.
you a singer, a musician first? Were you an actress first? Were you a dancer first? Like what bug caught you first?
Well, in my mind, I was a dancing singer. But I actually couldn't do any of that. But, as a child, I remember it was so exciting when you saw somebody on television or film
Yeah.
that looked like you. And I remember Nancy Kwan was the first actor that, so I used to say I was Eurasian because it was so exotic, but I couldn't sing or dance. But I thought, when I performed for my neighbors in the across the street, I would sing
The
and dance.
Italians.
Yeah, the Italians. They were immigrants. I don't even know if they spoke English, but in my mind, I was dancing and singing, but I really never studied it. I was not very good. I can carry a tune, but
Did you major in theater then in Tokyo?
no, they didn't have that. So I had a radio show.
What?
Really?
I did entertainment.
So
while I
we're
was
radio
there.
people. He is
Yeah.
radio and I'm radio, and now you're radio.
I was radio. I
What?
did a travel log, a travel program called Amy's Japan, and I traveled all over the country, interviewed people, talked about it, just
Wow.
which is why I can talk forever.
right.
I mean, you know what? It doesn't. Do you feel like it ever sets you up for like being in the place where you are now, like the little things that you started with?
Yeah, it's weird how, you just say yes to stuff.
Yeah.
I got that job traveling around the country. It didn't pay that well, but, I got to travel wherever. They'd say, where do you want to go? And I'd say, Okinawa. And they'd go, okay. And they'd make all the plans for me. And I'd go to Okinawa or
I love
Hokkaido.
Okinawa.
Or to a kimono factory or
Oh, great.
just whatever I felt like I wanted to explore. They would take me there. And
Amy's Travels.
Amy's Japan. Amy's
Amy's
Travels.
Japan.
It was called Amy's Japan. Amy no
That's a
Nippon.
great gig to have.
Yeah.
Like, can I just go?
Fell into my lap.
Like, let me just go to Okinawa.
And how long
go
did
to
you do
Osaka.
that?
That was about 3 years, I think. And then we
Wow.
had a different producer. He just wanted to go wherever there was a golf course. He didn't care where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
He just literally. So I was like not having it anymore. The other producer was more interested in creating
In content.
content.
He was before his time. That's why.
Yeah.
Nowadays, can you imagine if he was here nowadays to do all the content with his mind, thinking about like we need to create content.
I know.
And now it's like but back then, I guess some people just wanted to golf. That's still now.
Well, I think still people want to golf.
Yeah, people still want to golf.
So, it's okay. Golfing's good.
Golfing's
But
good.
as a, traveler, it was
Yeah.
not that exciting.
yeah.
And I have no interest in golf. But, so that was good. And then I did other weird things. Like I remember I was a talento, which is just basically a talent.
What is it called?
Talento.
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 I might
And
have said it.
talento.
It's Talento. Talento.
Talento.
And
Yeah.
what is that?
That's a person who's talented.
Oh, you're a talento.
That's a title?
It's a very, I was a talento.
Talento.
So basically, I was cute, and I just go where places. One summer, a friend of mine came to visit. I don't know why she was anyway, but we were the sun-kissed girls, and we traveled all over the country, in department stores and stuff, going sun-kissed lemon dozo, sun-kissed lemon dozo.
Dozo.
It was weird.
That's
Anyway,
so fun.
it was just weird stuff.
And I think that's one of
cool.
the themes of our show, too, our podcast, is just how much hard work do you have to do to get where you are? The sacrifices, just the desire to do something big. You do whatever you can for the path, don't you think?
Yes, you do. But you don't know what the end result is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't know that that would be any good for my career. Being a
sun-kissed girl.
Yeah, sun-kissed girl. But I also did English language tapes, like, people learning English.
So that's your first voiceover work?
That was my first voiceover work.
So that's the
I
first
would say things like, banana. Repeat after me. Banana. Or whatever.
Wait,
Oh
you
my
taught me English? No.
I was teaching English
teaching
on these
English?
tapes.
That's
It
fabulous.
was weird. So it was all good. And then I moved back to the States in 79. I got married in Japan. I was living there as a Japanese wife, really like invested in. And then I was like, wait a minute, I want to act. I forgot I want to act. So my husband at the time was interested in pursuing his career as a psychologist.
Okay.
So he wanted to go to San Francisco State, and he got it accepted. And so we moved back to San Francisco, and I started working at the Asian American Theater Company
Okay, yeah.
because that was my theater thing. And it was like a new thing. It was
Yeah.
the Asian American diaspora was now going to be on display. All the plays were new plays written by Asian Americans.
That's so good.
And this is in 79?
79. It was
Wow.
already around for a little while,
yeah.
but I was in the very beginning of
Yeah.
it.
Holy
So
smokes.
it was so exciting because we were
Yes.
talking about, all the plays were camp plays. We did Cambodian, not Vietnamese yet, Filipino,
Yeah.
Chinese, Korean, stories
Yeah.
of Asian Americans.
That's so great. And in the hub of San Francisco, where really you think of all those cultures, the melting pot there, you were at the right place.
Oh my God. I mean, we had playwrights like David Henry Hwang. I'm not sure if you know him, but he is a Tony Award winning playwright now.
Wow.
But he came through us.
Wow.
He also is now like the head of the Tonys.
Wow.
But we had a lot of fancy people come through.
I just think it's so crazy because the Asian American jumping into TV, it was rough before, and then now
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
I
it's a lot
thought I was
different now.
happy. If I could make a living doing theater, I was just so excited because I wanted to be an artist.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I also wanted to make a change in the world somehow with my
Yeah.
art,
Wow.
which would be the Asian American theater.
Yeah, which
But
you
I
did.
also studied
Yeah.
at ACT, so I had the classics under my belt. But I discovered improvisational theater in San Francisco. That was the height of stand-up, improvisational. Like, it was also Robin Williams was around at the same time.
Wow.
I know. So
Wow.
I'm doing improv with Robin
Holy
Williams.
smokes.
Wow.
I'm a
Well,
huge
basically,
Robin Williams
Me
fan.
too.
just watching him because
Yeah.
he took over whenever we did anything, which was fine because he's a genius.
Yeah.
But it was like such a heyday
Yeah,
of
wow.
improv, stand up. Rob Schneider was around at the same time.
Wow.
Wow.
Who, yeah.
You can do it. No.
Yeah. So it was really fantastic, a fantastic time. And because I was doing improv, I'm giving you everything. You don't even have to say, ask me questions. I just shut
I
up.
love it.
I don't even shut up.
Let's go,
It's
sit
Amy
back and enjoy
Japan. It's
these
Amy
story time
Japan
with-
radio
yeah.
show right now.
But in San Francisco, I was doing improv, and I was also doing theater, and I played a Filipina in a play.
Okay, yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
matriarch
Yeah.
of this family. And I really, because I came from a classical theater, so I studied it, and I went to movies and watched the physicality, and I had the accent down. And
Oh, nice.
after we finished the play, a call came into the theater. They were looking for somebody to do voiceovers for Philippine Airlines.
Wow.
So I auditioned, and I was the voice of Philippine Airlines for 6 years.
That's the coolest story about how
I
you
tell you.
made it.
Yeah.
A sun-kissed lady, then to the voice of
Well,
Filipino
this is what you
Airlines.
do. You work
Holy
hard, and you
smokes.
have to be ready for the opportunity.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that I could, I'm going to study this Filipino stuff and then I will get a job. You know, you don't know that.
Yeah.
So you just do the best you can with whatever you have, and just the universe kind of provides for you. So then I'm doing Philippine Airlines. I'm sitting in the lobby waiting to go in, and my improviser teacher walks by and he goes, "Amy, I didn't know you did voiceovers." And I went, "Yeah." That was the only job I had.
Yeah. Of course I do. I've done
Well, he made me like the top voice talent, female voice talent in San Francisco.
Wow.
That is, I love
Because
hearing
I was
these
his
stories.
girlfriend, his wife. I mean, everybody wanted me to do, but my experience in Japan doing voice work helped me do that because I was really comfortable in front of a mic, and I was easy. I could read copy very easily, and I could read cold.
Yeah. So that's something we haven't really talked about yet on our podcast, is just voiceover work. Like, walk us through, how do you prepare? Do you become a character? Are you animated in the studios when you're becoming that voiceover character? That's fascinating to me.
Well, the only kind of character I played was Philippine Airlines. I was a Filipina. The executives nobody ever met me because they were all in the Philippines.
Right.
They thought I'd gone to some private school, in Makati, this little suburb of Manila.
How did you
fancy.
get the accent down?
Well, because I was doing the Filipina matriarch, and I just pulled back a little bit. So it was a very delicate Philippine Airlines, the only way to fly. That was me.
Fantastic.
Anyway, but I also had been to the Philippines because I lived in Japan, and a lot of my fellow students were Filipina. So I was comfortable with the accent. In San Francisco, mostly I was doing straight characters. So I was somebody's girlfriend. "Oh, honey, no." You know, that kind of stuff. Or disclaimers at the end of a Macy's ad.
A really fast one.
Yeah. Disclaimers, that kind of stuff. It wasn't all straight. So I was not doing any characters. And I remember I could not get any animation work or anything. And one of the producers was always like, "You're just not funny." He would say to me, "Yeah, you're just not funny. You don't have a funny voice."
What?
Okay.
Which is so hilarious to me. I was telling you before we started off mic that all my girlfriends are huge fans of yours, and they cannot stop talking about how you're like the funniest person that ever lived to them.
Yeah, well, I think I depend on my physicality a lot for humor or deadpan. I don't know. But now I do a lot of animation. In fact, I do not do any straight advertising. I only do animation.
Wow.
Just because,
The checks are big
just
enough.
to say, hey, you said I could not do animation? Yes, I can.
And then you can.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm hungry, Romeo. Really hungry.
I know a spot.
Really?
A really good spot.
Okay.
I could taste it at the tip of my tongue.
What kind of food is it?
Domino's.
Oh,
Everybody loves Domino's.
I love Domino's. Carry out, take out, you name it. Delivery. I love pizza.
And I order it from the app straight up.
Ooh.
It's easy. I'm like, I'm futuristic.
I don't have an app, but I need one really badly.
You can go online, Domino's.com.
Domino's.com.
Yeah.
I'm going to download it. Let's go get some pizza.
I'm ready. I'm going to get a pizza and a sub. And, oh my gosh. No, I'm going to order this thing. It's like this bread, and you dip it, and it's so good. Super
All right,
good.
let's
Fire.
go.
Let's go.
So what was your first big role that you count, like you really got the call and you made it? Because Romeo was all impressed about some of your early years, things that you have done.
Well, I was still in San Francisco doing theater, and Wayne Wang, who directed Joy Luck Club, but his biggest, most, exciting film that broke him out was Chan is Missing, and he used all San Francisco actors. It was an independent film, and Roger Ebert. I'm not sure if you know him.
Oh, of course, the critic.
He was like, that movie is unbelievable. It was the first Asian American film that just broke out.
Wow.
So his second film I was in, called Dim Sum, A Little Bit of Heart. and I played a Chinese American girl, and I thought, oh, this is fantastic, but it did not do what Chan is Missing did. And I never, I was like, I love San Francisco, I'm not going to LA. So I didn't use that opportunity to come down here, or not here.
To LA.
To
I know
LA.
I'm in the moment.
Yeah, to go to LA. So years later, the reason I moved was I had gotten divorced, and I'd done everything in San Francisco. It's a very tiny town. Yeah. I knew everyone. I knew all the people, the casting people. It felt like I had nowhere to go. I'd worked with all the directors. Anyway, so I thought, I need to move to LA. Wow. That was a shock.
Yeah.
Because
so big.
Huge. I remember standing in Griffith Park looking over the city and going, what was I thinking?
Oh my gosh.
And then
so
you
scary.
go to, what was the name of that book? There was a bookstore. You get like a book that had all the casting directors, like 300.
Oh, the Yellow Pages kind of thing, or-
And the agents, 1,000.
Oh my God.
I thought, how am I going to get an agent? How am I going to get any of this? So, basically I went to East West Players.
Okay.
That's another Asian American theater.
I'm very familiar.
And that became my home.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's what you need to, I feel, that's what everyone needs to do is find a theater home.
Got it.
And that's also a great place to network because everybody there is, trying to make a life as an actor. And there were a lot of people that I had looked up to that were, Mako, who was an Academy Award nominee for Sand Pebbles years and years ago. And I met Nancy Kwan.
I know.
Aww.
Yeah, legend.
The legend. And so many people that I had looked up to were working in this theater because they wanted to act and they wanted to do good work. So I felt very lucky to be there. And I managed, I thought I could fall back on voiceover work, but no. I couldn't even find a voice agent. Somebody in San Francisco told their voice agent to take me on. Wow. And he was like, how did this happen? I don't know. Anyway. But I didn't get any voice work immediately. I had some friends that were independent producers, and I did lifetime medical television narrating surgeries.
Oh, wow.
Because I could do medical words. I was very good at that. Reflux esophagitis. Things like that. I was able
I
to
couldn't
cold
say that.
read.
Yeah.
I had a hard time with the word you gave me earlier.
Yeah.
The talent.
You got to be able to read the
Japanese.
copy cold. And, like voiceover work, you have to be able to, you don't get the copy in advance.
No.
No, you just walk in and you read it. So I'm a good cold reader.
I can only imagine. So then when you move to LA, you've got thousands of people competing, and then you land something.
Well, I did game show run-throughs. That was good. Well, I love game shows. They're very fun. And I get paid to run through game shows.
You mean like going through Prices Right? And
shows that were not on the air yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you do the game show run-throughs and they're like fixing it to make sure it works really well.
Oh, that's how
but
it
you get
works.
paid like pretty good.
Yeah,
I
no
also
way.
did the Gong
Fantastic.
Show.
You did.
Wait, what show?
I won
You
on the
won?
Gong Show because it was AFTRA. You could they paid you after scale, so you got enough work, you would get insurance. I did it all.
Wow.
That
I
is
had
fantastic.
and I remember
I love
telling my,
this.
theater friends, I'm doing, the Gong Show, and they went, "Oh, Amy, no."
We're so
And I'm
sorry.
like, yeah.
No way.
Come
that
on,
was the
it's
show.
It was a good show, and I won. I won like $711 when.
Wow.
when-
Congratulations.
yeah.
That's
I still
big
have
bucks.
I still have the trophy.
Oh, that
Wow.
is that is fantastic. What other game shows did you do?
Well, I did as a contestant, a real one. I did Crosswits with Connie Francis.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Was that like in the 70s?
No, it had to
60s?
be in the 80s.
Oh, in the 80s?
Yeah, early 80s.
Connie
'cause
Francis,
I moved to
legend.
LA in 87. So it was the early, she was a legend.
big time. Did you win that one?
No, she was terrible. But I did she was sort of attracted to the other contestant, a guy. What? She was flirting with him at the same time that she's my celebrity. Anyway, she's very annoying. But as a, what do they call them? As the runner-up, I got success rice and a standing freezer.
That is so
what
random.
What are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Asian. I'm not going to eat that success rice.
Yeah.
I don't even know what success rice is.
It's a boil in a bag.
Oh, it's like minute rice.
Kind of stuff. It was called success rice. It was weird.
Yeah. That is so hilarious.
I know.
Some people still don't know how to clean rice.
It's weird how people don't know. It's like rice is so weird to them.
Yeah. I mean,
and like almost every culture eats rice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I think it's kind of crazy that
It
some
is
people don't know to clean rice.
I know.
Yeah.
They don't need to squeeze it a few times, dump the water out, do it again.
I know.
Yeah. Right.
And do you do the first knuckle?
I do. Yeah. The
line? You got to go to the knuckle.
Yes.
That's one of the first things I learned when I came here.
Yeah. Every culture that eats rice does the first knuckle.
Yes, and that's how you make rice. Because you get the perfect amount of water, and it's good.
I don't know how that. It's a magical, weird thing.
It's a universal.
I know, but I
set.
don't know what the chemistry is or the equation. Whatever.
So when was your first I made it moment? When did that come to you?
Well, the first kind of actually, it is, I think, a tried and true thing. Your first series opens the door for the rest of. Everybody suddenly thinks you can be a regular on every show.
Wow.
So my first series was All American Girl. And again, it's all happenstance because I had been doing My Mother for years in improvisational comedy. My mother used to say, I'd do something and then I'd come back and she'd say, "You do me?" And I'd say, "Yes, I did you." Everybody laugh? Yes, they did. Basically, that was it. So I would do My Mother, and Margaret Cho, who I'm sure you're familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
I would see her sometimes at gigs in San Francisco. We'd do fundraisers and I remember thinking, wow, I hope she gets out of San Francisco and people discover her because she had such a specific voice.
Yeah.
And I saw her in L.A. At some point we were doing a fundraiser together, and I was doing My Mother, and she was doing her mother, and we were both like, who did their mother first? And she said, "I have a deal with CBS or ABC, and I want you to be in it."
Whoa.
See?
Wow.
It's all being ready
Yes.
Wow.
for these opportunities.
It is.
And I was like, okay. So she fought for me
Wow.
and got me on the show. They didn't want me. I wanted to be the grandma, not the mother.
Wow.
Because the mother character was just,
Yeah.
is kind of just her nemesis, boring. But the grandma was interesting. So again, my friends were like, "Oh, Amy, no." Because I was going to be playing somebody like 30 years older than me. But I was like, that's the most interesting character. I want to do that one. So they aged me up. The studio and the network thought I was too young. And I was like, Golden Girls, you can just age up.
The Golden Girls, when I was growing up, I thought they were so older. And then they were only 50.
Yeah.
Now 50, you're just like, you barely even, you think they're 30.
Right.
It's just crazy to me.
I know.
Yeah.
So I was happy. I was doing that. And that opened the door for everything.
Yeah. You know what I think is just crazy to think about is that you've been a part of these historic films that have to do with Hawaii. Like everybody looks at 50 First Dates.
Right.
And everybody's like, whoa. Everybody looks at Lilo and Stitch and like, yo, this is like the first Disney movie that Hawaii got.
Right. I think that might have been the first time I played Hawaiian. because I've done it several times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was Jason Momoa's mom on
Wow. Raise my hand, please, emoji.
You've raised him very well.
You
man.
did well.
I did.
Yeah, you have a
I have
good-looking
to
kid.
say,
You've
it
done
was
well
a
with-
difficult role because when I saw him, I'm like, oh Lord,
Yeah, can't look at him.
I can't feel these feelings as his mother. It's just not right. So I had to really act. And
Pull it all out for this one.
man, it was hard. But he's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, he's so
nice.
Yeah.
And 50 First Dates, I was nervous about that because I wanted to be as authentic as possible. So I had all my Hawaiian friends like coach me in dialect and, anyway. So I was very happy that I was able to do that. But, I was lucky that it was, I feel like people were very supportive even while I was doing it. Whenever I'm doing anything that is not close to my actual ethnic background,
Yes.
I count on everybody around me to, say, oh, hello, that would be inaccurate, or say it this way, or do this, because I'm open.
Yeah.
We fast forward to your 5 successful seasons with Magnum PI, and I just as a super fan of that show, and I never knew in a million years you were not from here. Like
I didn't know
you
either.
embodied.
I grew up thinking you're from here.
Yeah.
I grew up.
You just were like the perfect person for that show at the perfect time.
I have a lot of friends that are from here, and some of them, like 50 First Dates, I had more of a pidgin accent.
Yeah.
But that she was
Can we hear your pidgin accent?
Oh, I can't do I'm not good at it. I have to work on those things. In real life, my friends, almost all of them don't have an accent. They all went to Punahou and Iolani.
Right, yeah.
They have no accent. What's interesting is one of my best friends, Brooke Lee, Miss Universe.
Love
Miss
her.
Universe.
No accent. Well, she can put it on if she has to. But all of her family, they all speak
Pigeon.
with pidgin
Moke.
accents.
Yeah.
They're. It's like it's interesting how she's like gone.
Yeah, it's out of her world.
It's out of her world, but she can.
I
do
feel
it.
like I lost my pigeon accent a little bit.
I don't hear anything
Yeah,
from you.
see, and I went to Punahou on the hills.
See,
Roosevelt.
there you go.
No, I went to
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
They
It's on the
clean
hills.
you up.
I went to Roosevelt, which is up the street.
Oh, so it's like the public Punahou?
I call it the public Punahou because it's right next to Punahou and it's on the hill. So we have that, we have
Same
one up-
thing.
I don't even try to speak pidgin. It's so ugly. I'm from West Texas, so it's a little bit of y'all and a little bit to
Yeah,
kind.
no,
It should never be put together on
No.
any level.
No, I don't want to.
whatsoever.
I can't. I don't want to. If I'm acting, I work
Yeah.
on it. But in real life, I feel like I'm. No.
Yeah.
But I will say, aloha and mahalo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Definitely the pigeon
the-
has gotten creative. Though,
The
for
5
sure.
seasons that you were on there, take us through
Mm-hmm.
how your character changed and of course, the romantic ties that were on the show that were surprised in the end. Tell us a little bit about how you thought the storyline went.
Well, the storyline was not consistent. That was my difficulty because, I try to create a character. So at the beginning, they didn't know exactly. I was just a Hawaiian element when they brought me over. So I spent a lot of time with Brooke's mom, who's big in the Hawaiian community. Like she's in charge of the Royal Hawaiian Band. And so I came over and I was like cleaning out the Royal Mausoleum with her and, making lei for Liliuokalani, Queen. I was doing everything. I was following her, just shadowing her, and just trying to absorb all the Hawaiiana I could.
Yeah.
Not that I was going to do an accent necessarily, but I wanted to embody, because I was supposed to be the cultural curator.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
that never, I would mention it, but it wasn't really happening.
Mm-hmm.
But every time they brought up in the first season any kind of cultural stuff, I would run it past Brooke and her mom to make sure it was accurate.
That's so smart and so kind
because
of
there
you.
was nobody on the show that was doing it. But there was a prop guy who was also very helpful. So I would say, and he'd say, so we would fix it. But there were several times during the show. I remember, John Kempo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rock,
I
paper,
know John
scissors.
Kempo, but I'm Japanese, so we did John Kempo Aiko de show. It was like a Japanese thing. But I knew that here they said John Kempo, but also like every little community says that a little different.
Yeah, I thought it was John Kipo, I can show. That's
See,
what
I
I thought
never-
it was. What is
yeah.
it?
Aiko de show.
Oh my gosh, I've been saying it wrong my whole life.
No,
Yeah,
it's okay. But they wanted me to say something. I forgot already. It's something that they say on the East Coast.
What, rock, paper, scissors, shoot?
No, they don't. Well, they could say rock, paper, scissors, but there was some other term that I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't say that.
Wow.
I mean, I
Yeah.
called all the people, Chinese,
Yeah.
Japanese,
It's John
Filipino, Hawaiian, they all went John Kempo.
Yeah.
And I went, yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So when we got to set, I said, I cannot say this other thing. And they said, well, can you do one take? And I said, no. But I will do the physical stuff. So if there's somebody on the mainland or in other countries that don't know what I'm doing, they know the physical stuff,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
So they let me go.
Wow.
But those are the things. One time they wanted me to do a lullaby to a baby, and they wanted it to be row, row, row your boat in Hawaii. And I said, I can't do that.
Yeah. Thank you for
So I
the
looked up,
integrity.
so Brooke was my go-to. And so she found a song that was appropriate.
Aw.
And CBS had to pay for the rights to do the song. And then I learned it and all the little finger things. And so that was good. So I was, I fought for accuracy.
Yeah.
But they really, because they were writing from the mainland,
Oh.
and there was nobody really there in the room that was Hawaiian. So they were, basically Googling things to find stuff. And so
They can get rough.
they did the best they could.
Yeah.
But it was up to me to make sure that my character
Wow.
was as accurate as possible. But, I pitched a lot of stories and nothing ever happened. So I did the best I could.
I thought
I
you were-
enjoyed the cast.
You were fantastic in it, and
Yeah.
the 5 seasons, were they two seasons a year? So it was like a 2.5-year run, or was it 5?
No, it's
years?
a weird. I don't know what they did. The first 3 seasons were normal seasons. They were shorter, but then the last 2 seasons they made them 1A and 1B and 2A and 2B. So they did. I don't know. It was something about how we were getting paid because they'd have to pay us more if we were season. It's complicated.
So, what's your funniest story from your time on that? Something crazy, hilarious happens.
Oh, funniest. Which is not his fault, but Jay never remembered his lines.
I can be in TV.
No, it's just because he had the bulk of dialogue,
okay.
and sometimes I don't even know if he read the scripts. So, I was always, because I didn't have as much as most of the people. I mean, I had some episodes where I was heavy with the dialogue, but that was the funniest part, was that Jay would just be like, say something and go, what am I doing?
Oh, that is hilarious.
Yeah.
Did the season end abruptly, or did you kind of have a feeling that was
No.
coming to a close?
No, we had no idea.
That, to me, like as we talk through, all of us wanting to be headliners in whatever field, I think the TV piece of that, where just one day it's done. I don't even understand that.
It's a decision that's made, in the corporate offices.
And they just come one day, or they.
Yeah, they just say we're not picking it up,
Wow.
basically. And our numbers were really good. And what was
Yes.
weird was CBS didn't really do a lot of promotion. And when we moved to NBC, they promoted it a lot.
They
Suddenly
did.
we're doing a lot of, stuff. I mean, I'd been on many series.
Yeah.
And, generally they have like cast photos and they do publicity in the beginning. And CBS didn't really do anything. It was almost like we were a secret,
Wow.
Hawaii 5-0 was the big show.
Yeah.
And we were sort of the
second banana.
which, it was okay. But then Hawaii 5-0 was, I think, a shock when they got canceled. And so then we got all the Hawaii 5-0 people as crew,
Oh, that's
which was
good.
really sad. Well, it was sad because we got used to the first season, all the people, they got fired.
Oh, no.
And now we had all these Hawaii 5-0 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we're like, what
It's your
about
family.
our family? So, it was like every season, it felt like a new, and then the third season was COVID.
Oh, wow.
So then we had a whole new family, kind of. It was, every season was really, and then we had NBC. Anyway, it was just always.
No, I think it's interesting to see it from your point of view, where you've had so many years in the industry. You've
Yeah.
had so much experience.
Yeah,
And you
so
know what to expect. You know.
kind of do.
Yeah.
But this is the first, I'd been on other shows. I was on an Amazon Prime show that ran for 4 seasons.
Yes.
And it was a kids show. And that was also kind of the beginning of streaming. So it wasn't like normal where you'd have this season and then you'd find out pretty much when the next season's going to happen. You wouldn't hear anything. And then all of a sudden, we're going to start shooting next month. It's like, oh, okay.
So it's, that's the other thing. I don't know, just me as a layman, I just think, I'm a star, I'm in a TV show, everything's going to be okay. And it's still a very up and down
Oh, yeah. No.
kind of life that you lead.
No, it's always been up and down. And then for a little bit, when my daughter was like 10 or 11, I remember it was all these web series that I was doing. They felt just the same as a regular show, but you were paid like nothing.
Oh,
But you were doing,
the work.
it was web series, which is, I don't even understand still what it was that I was doing. But I was doing these series on the web.
You still don't know where the videos are.
Well,
I don't understand it.
We're going to talk about your Lilo and Stitch because it's such a big thing here in Hawaii in a minute.
So happy
But
about that.
we want to play a little game with you so
Okay.
we can get to know you a little better.
Okay.
So it's called Either or Neither. We're going to
Okay.
give you 2 things to choose from. You can choose either or you can say neither, but you have to tell us why. So I'll go
Okay.
first. LA or Hawaii?
Hawaii.
Why?
I feel so at home here. I feel as though I'll live longer
Yes.
if I live here. It's the energy in LA is very difficult. And I feel like, I've been around the business long enough that it doesn't matter where I live. I can live, I still have a house there. But
And your daughter is
my
there?
daughter lives there. My sister lives there. So I get a guest bedroom when I'm back there.
Wow,
sounds
That's
good.
all I need.
you got a
That
guest
sounds
bedroom
good.
in your own house.
I
Look at
know.
that, huh? That's awesome. Okay. How about this? Would you like the beach or more the city vibes?
I like looking at the beach.
And Momoa on the beach?
I like seeing the beach. But I like the city vibe. Yeah.
Hope you're enjoying the podcast. I'm Dita Holifield.
Romeo Valentine, the host of Headliners Hawaii, and Dita, this place is amazing. I can't believe we're in the Hawaii Theater.
I got chicken skin just thinking about it. There's so many great shows,
Yes.
so many things to do here all year round at Hawaii Theater. We want you to come out and enjoy what we get to do all the time.
Yes, and you're not going to miss out, okay? So don't have FOMO. Get over to the Hawaii Theater, hawaiitheater.com. You got to get your tickets. Check out the calendar list throughout the year, every year, all the time. Now let's get back to the show.
Excited.
Sunsets or sundown? Sunsets or the morning?
Oh, good. Sunrise.
Yeah, with
Sunset
sunrise
or sunrise?
and sunsets.
'Cause I'm
Which
like,
one?
those are the
Either.
same.
That's the same.
I like sunrise.
You're a morning girl.
I am a morning girl.
And do you sit out? How do you enjoy the mornings?
I try to meditate. I have a lovely condo that overlooks the ocean. I'm looking at the beach.
Yeah.
Yes, you're looking at the in your city.
And I like to take time in the morning to sort of meditate and be prepared for the day.
I love that.
North Shore or Waikiki?
If I could levitate to the North Shore, if I didn't have to drive to the North
Yeah.
Shore, I would love the North Shore. I don't like Waikiki.
Is it because of the traffic?
Too many people.
Too many people? It's
Yeah.
like Japan.
I know. And it's got a lot of Japanese.
Oh my goodness.
Might as well be Japan.
What is this place?
Dang.
All
Just the
right.
prices are not Japan.
Last one for me is small theater or Broadway?
I just finished a play off Broadway. I did Shakespeare.
Whoa.
Cymbeline.
Oh.
I played the king.
Whoa.
What?
All Asian, all female, off Broadway. And the New York Times loved it.
Wow.
It was so
Congratulations.
fulfilling and wonderful. I came back at the end of February. I like Broadway. I've done Shakespeare at Lincoln Center.
What
So
a
I am
lifetime
a verified
achievement.
classical theater person, but I generally like off-Broadway better than I like Broadway. It's more experimental, just like, all Asian, all female
Yeah.
Shakespeare. That's not normal, but you can do it off-Broadway. It's not necessarily something that tourists would come see on Broadway. But yeah.
We just had Tina, the story of Tina Turner, the musical, and we were so thrilled because we had Jaina as one of our guests on our
Yes.
podcast. And so Romeo had asked her who was the most famous people that came to see you at the Broadway Tina musical.
Yeah.
She was phenomenal, by the way. She said you. Amy Hill. And she was so excited and so thrilled that you were in the audience and you said hi and she just was so
My
thrilled.
God, I stayed and I wanted to see her after. She was amazing.
Amazing.
Oh God. And she did 7 shows in 5 days.
Yes.
Oh, that's exhausting.
Yeah, it made me
Just thinking
tired
about
thinking
it?
about
Well, just
it.
watching, it's not like she's just like Shakespeare is not easy, but I have to sing and dance and run around and be like
Change.
Tina Turner. Like, oh Lord.
Yeah,
But
she
she's
really-
young.
Yeah,
She can do it.
She can. Last one for you.
Oh, I got one more? Okay, would you say poke or musubis? I do you wrong?
No, I like both. So
Yeah.
I guess I like musubis because I don't know. That's like a comfort food,
Yeah.
growing up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poke is something more recent in my history of food.
Yeah.
I told Marlon Wayans recently, I told him, I said, and people in Hawaii love Spam because of Spam musubis. And he's like, what the heck? He's like, I need to talk to y'all. Y'all can't be eating all that processed meat. But when you live here, you understand why we eat so much Spam musubis.
Well,
yeah.
we just had the
like he
spam
never
jam.
eats anything processed. Oh yeah. So yeah, don't talk about our processed meat.
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
It's good. And then the teriyaki
I mean, I don't
sauce.
eat it every day,
Of course not.
No.
but oh my God,
But it's
can't live
there.
without it. I used to make the spam musubi for my daughter to take to school.
Oh, yeah.
And she, I felt like, oh, good. At high school, they want to eat crap.
Yeah.
Well, like spam musubi is not the healthiest thing, but
Yeah.
not bad. It has seaweed on it.
Yeah, there you go. There's vegetables.
So I'd make them, and then it turns out she's selling them.
Yeah.
She's
I love it.
selling them in the lunchroom.
She's an
I'm making
entrepreneur.
She's like making money off my hard work.
Yeah, she's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That's what it was. She's an entrepreneur before you even knew it. One thing I wanted to ask you about was because I know the diverse cultures that you've acted in. Like you've been in films that were like you wouldn't expect, right? Like from family films to doing some hood stuff with Cube. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
That is
know.
street
like,
cred.
that to me, I was like, yo.
I love that.
That's
I
Miss
love
Ho.
that.
That's Miss Ho.
Yeah.
Osam marasakas.
That
We
was
heard
good.
that you.
Like, you don't understand how dope
That was
is.
that was an ad lib, but he said it was okay to do.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
I
so
said, "Can I say this?" Because the whole movie, I'm like, he's calling me China Mama or whatever the hell he's doing, and I'm Korean, and I said, we would not stand for that.
Right.
We don't like mixing up.
Yeah.
Every culture is like, don't call me Cuban. I'm
Yeah.
Mexican, or
Yeah.
or from Argentina, or whatever. They are so proud of who they are, and it goes with Asian cultures too.
Yeah.
If you're Korean, you don't want somebody calling you Chinese.
Yeah.
You're like, So he said, yeah. He was he's such a sweetheart. Really
Yeah, is it
another
Ice Cube.
nice guy.
Him, Mike Epps.
Legend.
Mike Epps, that was his first movie. So he was really nervous and sweet. Jason Momoa, too. North Shore was his first big thing, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dang,
now
you
he's
was
like
there
all
for
that.
the beginning of these guys' careers.
I was there.
You launched
That's
there.
right.
Because you got to think, I mean, even next Friday is like still the beginning of Cube, too. Because Friday was what, the
Well,
first?
Friday and then next Friday. But he's a great, just, he just was I'm always impressed because I'm just exhausted acting. But, these people are producing, writing, making deals, doing that kind of thing. And it's not just for himself, it's for his community. I mean, he really is doing something to make a difference, to show another facet
Yeah.
of the community he's in and giving people jobs. I mean, the whole production crew is, I would say, 80% African American, and his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You've got Lilo and Stitch coming around, and
Yes.
everybody's so excited. I think I saw May 23rd, something like that is the
Yes.
release.
Yes.
Did you go after that? Did they come after you to be a part of it? Like, how did that land in your lap?
Well, in the animation, I played Mrs. Hasegawa,
Yes,
and then during
of
the
The reboot or the live
series,
action.
they had a series, an animation series.
Yeah.
And I
used to
was
watch it.
doing that.
Yeah, I used to watch it.
So I was sort of in that mix. But I auditioned for this.
Oh.
I auditioned for Mrs. Kekoa. I don't know. Is that her name? Anyway, so the social worker and Tutu.
Yeah.
Tutu, of course, was more fun.
Well,
So I was
the-
hoping I would get Tutu.
Yes.
But, you don't get guaranteed anything in this life. So I auditioned for, my daughter was my reading partner. Yeah, for the self, because we did a self-tape.
Yeah.
And so my daughter did it
Wow.
with me, and she was very, she has done theater before. So she was a good director. She was
Oh.
coaching me.
Oh, that's
let's do
good.
that again. I think you need to do this and this and this. And I'm like, okay.
You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to go on a press junket and all that good stuff?
No,
What are you,
I
what are you
mean,
doing?
Right now, I'm just going to L.A. The 17th is the premiere, so I'll be there.
Nice. Will we see you on Entertainment Tonight and all that fun stuff?
I don't know. I
shows
mean,
up.
I've been on a lot of series, and usually it's the 1 and 2 that do most of the press, and maybe 3. So I'm thinking that it's probably, I was number 4.
You're so close.
So close. I'm happy. I don't need to do that stuff because it's kind of mind numbing to do a lot of press.
Oh, well.
I just like being in it. And you're not getting paid any.
Yeah.
Nobody pays you to do all that
I
stuff.
just found that out. All the press junkets, nobody gets paid.
No. You're just working your little butt off.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that for sure Maya's going to be working a lot. And then Sydney and Kaipo.
Yes,
maybe
we're
are
hoping to
gonna be
get
doing
Sydney
a lot.
on our podcast. So
Yeah, they're
Put in a good word for us.
wonderful. Love
I
them.
met Sydney. She's very cool.
And I'm assuming there might be, because they're more famous people, like Zach Galifianakis is in it, and Courtney B. Vance is in it. So they may be doing some press, but I'm fine. If I get to go to the premiere, I keep saying opening because I'm theater.
yes,
The premiere, And then there's a cast and crew screening here on the 21st.
Oh, we
Yeah.
hope we can be there. That sounds
We're
great.
not
Yeah, I'm
invited.
sure
We're not
you-
cast
yeah.
and crew.
Yeah.
Oh, shucks.
I wanted to kind of end our time together is that here we are at the historic Hawaii Theater. And then we just found out you're going to be here. You got your own big show coming up here.
Yes, I'm on a
Yeah.
double bill with Alec Mappa. The show's called, my solo show is called Amy 2.0.
Oh, fun.
Which is going to be an entertaining look at aging in Hollywood and, just generally how you kind of reinvent yourself as you grow up. I'm not a grown up yet.
No, you're not there yet.
We forever young.
Forever young.
Forever
Yeah.
young.
You know, also, too, that's going to be in August.
August 15th.
Awesome. Okay, good. I also just wanted to throw in you have such a heart for Hawaii and you do so much for charity work. And I know you will never talk about it, but even something big in my eyes, Governor Green and his wife were the Hawaii Food Bank chairman. And that's how I stalked you to be on the podcast. And you were the host of Hawaii Food Bank and you raised just thousands of dollars that night. And you were so kind. I watched you work the room. People were just like, oh my God, it's Amy Hill. But just your heart that night, you were so wonderful at getting people to participate and to give. And thank you for doing that.
Oh, I love Hawaii Food Bank, and I also put a little fundraiser on my Instagram.
Oh,
And we made
thanks.
some money on Instagram.
Of course you did.
Well, because everybody loves Hawaii Food Bank
Yes.
or whatever food bank. I had friends in LA who donated to Hawaii Food Bank.
Oh,
Wow.
that
With
is
that
great.
little fundraiser
See,
thing.
thank you so much.
Wow.
Not hard.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I can't say no to those things.
Yeah. Very good. Well, we have enjoyed this so much.
Thank
and
you.
Thank you for taking the time out and and encouraging our listenership and just letting us know where you're going to be next because we want you to stay in Hawaii a long time.
Yeah.
We want to support
I'm
you.
going to stay.
Yeah, and you know what I think is so cool is seeing big stars like yourself still living in Hawaii. You guys
Yeah.
are here, and it's like I grew up here, and this is like to see that is just amazing because everything is like outside of Hawaii. Everything we wanted, for me, what I believe sometimes, like guys like Bruno Mars had to go outside of Hawaii and things like that. And then here you are, you live here, Steven lives here, a handful of you guys live here and it's super cool. And, seeing you guys out and about, I've seen you out multiple times, not gonna lie. But, it's just, I'm just shocked.
Daniel Day Kim, his home is here.
Yeah.
He's gone a lot, so I don't see him. But there are other Dustin Gwen. You know Dustin Gwen?
Yeah. And
Have you had him on the
Alex-
podcast?
No, but we would love to.
Yeah, he lives in Mililani.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yes.
I know.
Holy
But he's
molies.
gone, a lot of, because the work is not here.
Yes.
So they have to leave. Well, I have to leave too.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave, but I got to make some money.
Yeah.
So I leave. But I always get back on that plane and I'm flying back here and I just can't wait to
Wow.
land and
Feel the
Yeah.
air.
breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing to learn, right? Is that you can always come back.
Yeah.
The work might be out there, but you can always come back.
Yeah.
What is some type of advice you would give to somebody that's maybe coming up? Like what would you tell them? With everything that you've learned and continue to learn, what would you say to them?
Well, I feel like it's always the work.
Mm-hmm.
You have to focus on the work and doing good work. So you work hard, you study, I never looked for fame. I wanted to make a living. I wanted to be respected by my peers. I wanted to have representatives, my agents and stuff that also understood who I was. And they let me do theater where they make like, $1.50 in commissions. It's not like it doesn't do anything for them,
Yeah.
but they know as an artist that really fills me and makes me a better performer. It's the work. And then always, staying involved in your community, whether it's being, an advocate or working towards justice or, taking your kid to school and volunteering in the classroom. I mean,
Yeah,
just
that's
things.
so cool.
Being involved in a life outside of your business also feeds you as a human. So just being, and then opportunity just comes,
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
and you've got to be ready for it.
I think that was the key thing. What I've learned most today is be ready.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do the work.
You got to
Be ready,
do the
do the
work,
work.
but you don't do the work because you want to be successful. You do the work because it fills you.
Yeah.
So you're satisfied. My first solo show, I wrote because somebody said, I heard you had a solo show. And I said, yeah, but I didn't. So I had to write it. And I had ideas and I wrote it, and it became Critics' Choice in the LA Times.
Oh my gosh.
And people came.
Congratulations.
Yeah, but I didn't know. When I went on stage, I remember it was dark and I was standing back in the dark going, why did I do this? What if everybody hates my life, my writing, my acting? Too many things on the line. Lights up, gotta go on stage.
It's showtime.
So you just go on stage, you do it, and it became a huge hit, which also changed my life.
Yeah.
In many ways.
Yeah.
But it's just saying yes and working hard and being prepared, but you don't know. But for me, people were like, oh, I want to do a show like yours to showcase myself. And I went, I didn't do it to showcase. I did it for me.
That was your craft.
And I thought, at the very least, I will be satisfied with what I created.
Yeah.
That's all you have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because there's no guarantee of financial success
Yeah.
or critical success.
Yeah.
As long as you do something for you, then something will come.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are so inspired, Amy Hill,
great.
and all the stories you told today, and share your talents and how we can get there too.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Thank you for
I
being
feel like
here.
you're going to have to edit this down to an hour.
No, it's good.
Okay.
Hawaii Theater is excited about you being here with your own show here in August, and
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I probably could ask you like a bajillion questions because I'm just a super fan. And
you're so
I love
sweet.
your work, and maybe I'll ask one more if that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite role that you've done, because you've done so many, and which is that one that you're like, okay, this was the most fun? Because I mean,
Well,
this
I
was-
think it always comes down to All-American Girl, because I was given the opportunity to honor my mother. You know, she, poor thing, I was so embarrassed by her my whole childhood because she had this thick accent, and then she became the person that gave me the opportunity to be
wow.
a success,
Wow.
doing her.
Yeah. Wow.
So when I was playing her in All-American Girl, I was honoring her. And she was, you know, I knew that my character was really outrageous because she was, you know, Korean. So she had a Korean edge to her.
Yeah.
But she was basically my mother.
yeah.
And I knew that no matter what, the core of her was authentic.
Wow, that's awesome. Amy, thank you so much.
Thank
Yes.
you.
You know, we enjoyed our time with you. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
You know, I love your energy, your excitement, and you just bring you're a powerhouse. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you both are so wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. so much.
Headliners Hawaii.
Yeah, once again, give it up for our very special guest, Amy Hill.
Woohoo!
Thank you.